We're talking 13-6A, and we have with us head coach at College Park, actually the reigning coach of the year in District 13-6A, Lonnie Madison, Cavalier head coach. Coach, talk a little bit about last year before we dive into this year. You guys had the new district just formed. There's a 6-team district, so you're looking for teams to play as it was, and then COVID kind of hit. But once you got into district play, you guys kind of handled your own with that great finale with the Woodlands at the end there where you ended up getting the district title. How did you think last year went for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, last year was my fourth year. It was the first year that I had, a freshman class come through for all 4 years. So it was a special senior class. We knew they were a talented group. We knew we had a talented group of juniors behind them as well. So, I think we were close the 2 years prior to making the playoffs. We were in a tough 9-team district with the Klein ISD schools and the Conroe ISD schools. And so we knew we were close. I think we were able to kind of take that next step last year, kind of get over the hump. We finished 8-2, one district, like you said.
We're talking about this year. I mean, you graduate the district MVP, you graduate the defensive district MVP, but there's no tiers because you got a ton of skill position players coming back, and they got that 1 year experience, or they had that experience from their junior year, and they're ready to bring it out for their senior year. Talk about having that kind of leadership, especially on the offense with Ty Buckman and the wide receivers and tight end you got coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are losing a couple players on offense and defense that were, special players for us the last couple of years, but we do have quite a bit coming back. I think we got around 6 or 7 starters on offense, and a lot of guys that actually played a lot of varsity games and got in and were in the mix throughout the whole year. And then on defense, we have 7 returning starters coming back. So, and then we've got our kicker, who is an all-district punter. So as you kind of were speaking to, we got a lot of skill guys back, a lot of good football players on offense. Ty Buckman, who is going to be a 3-year starter for us at quarterback. He was the district MVP for basketball. So he's a great 2-sport player, and he'll be kind of leading the way at quarterback. We had a freshman start and play games for us last year, Connor Dunphy, who's kind of what you would call, I guess, the athlete position. He can play quarterback, receiver. We lined him up at tailback. He kind of did it all for us. And then our leading receiver, Alex Brigman, he led the team in receptions, yards, touchdowns. We've got Cody Medinka, who's our tight end, 6'5", 240, committed to Baylor, coming back. We've got Holden Rook, who's a 2-sport baseball football kid who had a breakout year in district, had some huge catches throughout district. And then at the tailback spot, Brenton Martinez. And then we moved a defensive back, Andrew Powdrell, who's also a sophomore, going to be a junior. The two of them are kind of working at tailback this spring and doing a great job. And, one other guy, Mason Combray, at receiver, he played for us last year. He's having a great spring right now. So on offense, we feel good.
Yeah, a lot of guys have taken a lot of live reps, which is always a bonus. And I'm glad you pronounced Cody's last name because I wasn't even going to touch it. Hey, talk a little bit about the district. You spoke on it a little bit, but you got 5 other teams. They're losing big guys too. McCaskill's no longer in this district. Teddy Knox is not in this district anymore. Talk about how you think that your district will kind of fold out.
Yeah, I think that the coaches that we got in this district do a phenomenal job scheme-wise. So, you don't get a whole lot of easy touchdowns or easy plays. Like there's some really good coaches in our district. I think Woodlands is always going to be there. That they've proven themselves over the last 35, 40 years as one of the top teams in the state. So that'll always be a tough game for anybody in the district. Conroe had a lot of good young talent on their team. If you look at Conroe from last year, they lost a lot of close games, but they were right there with everybody in the district. So, I always think that they do a really good job. And I think they're going to be a tough team for a lot of people last year, just like they were this past year. But they've got a lot of really good skill kids and talent coming back, I think, on their team. Coach Jackson at Grand Oaks has done a phenomenal job. You know, they run the wing tee. It's something completely different, and it's a quick style. Get up to the line of scrimmage. They put a lot of stress on your defense, and they do a great job with their kids. I think they finished 7-3 last year, their first year at 6A. Coach Schmid, who's, you know, one of the top coaches in the state of Texas, you know, has been at Oak Ridge 2 years. They won their first playoff game, and I don't know how long. Made it to the second round, and he's doing a great job there. And you've got Willis, who always has lots of talent. You know, I know they had a good young quarterback who will be kind of coming up now. So I don't know if I left anybody off, but there's some really good teams in our district. The coaches do a great job. I think it's going to be very competitive, just like it was last year.
And you have to find 5 non-district games, being the 16 district, which I talked to coaches that are 9-team districts, and they get all riled up because they only have the 2 before the live bullets start firing. And then it's got to be a little bit harder for you to come up with 5 games, especially, you know, in the first round. If you get it, if you get it into the playoffs, you're going to face a Spring or a Spring Westfield that has their talent. I mean, you saw last year with Westfield. Right. How important is it for you to put together a non-district schedule that will get you ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, it's incredibly important to kind of get the right games on the schedule. Like you said, it can be difficult to try to find 5, being the only district that has 6 teams in it. So you're trying to find teams that, you know, are going to challenge you each week. We've got Klein on the schedule, Katy Maid Creek, Cinco Ranch, Cy Lakes, and Bryan. So we've got kind of a variety of schools. It is a challenge to get all those games scheduled and get everything kind of worked out. But, you know, the nice thing I think about the 16 district is you've got a little more time to evaluate your kids through non-district. You got more opportunities to see what each of the kids can do and kind of find yourself as an identity on offense, defense, and kind of a lot about your team even before you hit district.
Excellent. And hopefully this year you got another nice run in you, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs there with your experienced team. I appreciate you joining with me, and we will talk to you down the road.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.